Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. We're excited for all that's in store in 2019 and hope you are too. Diving right in, with the release of Android 8.0 Oreo, support was added for adaptive icons, which can display a variety of icon shapes across different device models. As more devices utilize these updates, it's increasingly likely to see additional icon shapes as the default, which may result in your existing icons displaying incorrectly. To ensure your icons show properly, you'll need to add adaptive icons to your project. Linked below is a walkthrough that will help you quickly get those icons set up. With the 2014 release of Insurgency, indie developer New World Interactive built a solid first-person shooter and loyal, passionate following. When setting out to develop a sequel, however, the team had loftier ambitions. Now, powered by UE4, the team has been able to take the experience to a whole new level with revamped graphics, improved audio, new character classes, coupled with character customization options, larger maps, and the inclusion of vehicles. With the game recently releasing on PC and coming to consoles later this year, we caught up with several team members to find out how Insurgency Sandstorm has become one of the most realistic first-person shooters ever made. Dive into the article below for their full story. With a new month comes a new round of incredible free content from marketplace creators. For January, the Autumn Audio Bundle, Interactive Open World Foliage, Small Animal Behavior, SDF, Robo Progress Bars, and Stylized Desert Environment Packs are all available for free. Be sure to snag them while you can. Additionally, we've added Dekogon Studios' Ancient Treasures, Kaki's FX Variety Pack, and Silver TM's Industry Props Packs to our permanent collection of free assets. Now on to our weekly Karma earners. These fine folks are jumping in and helping their fellow devs on Answer Hub. We'd like to say a huge thanks to Vig Mai, Shadow River, Turer, Nebula Games Inc., The Batch, Velu12, Sartek Ogan, Wayby, Fighter CBSB, and Quindon DC. You all are just the bee's knees. Our first community spotlight this week and of the year is The Vagrant, a 2D action RPG by OTK Games in which you play as Vivian the Vagrant. You'll journey through a hand-painted fantasy world while you hack and slash a path through mysterious forests, haunted castles, and wrecked battlegrounds in search of her family. Next up, we'd like to highlight an open source plugin called Prefabricator, which extends the UE4 editor to support prefabs. The plugin offers nested prefab support and randomization features. In addition to editor tooling, it offers runtime support so you can use blueprints to spawn prefabs in standalone builds. And Dungeon of Buddha is our third and final spotlight this week. Inspired by Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Jinju Lee created this beautiful dungeon full of treasures. It's wonderfully moody and well executed. Very nice work. Thanks for joining us for our news and community spotlight. Hi, and welcome to your Unreal Engine live stream. I'm your host, Amanda Bott, and with me I have Tom Shannon, technical artist, and we're starting off the year together again.
Again. That's what we do.
Yep, we're reprising the start of 2018 with another Tom Shannon stream.
About game jams.
Ooh,
what do you know?
Even better.
So, yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit about game jams. I was here last year. And since then, I've traveled the world, participated in game jams. I've also judged and mentored several of them. And I've kind of seen where people are at with using Unreal Engine in game jams and what they've been doing with it, and it's really impressive. But one of the things that's really struck me is that there's so many people using Unreal Engine for the first time in a game jam, which I think is brave. It's a
well,
really
anything
big
you
program.
want to, it's helpful if you prepare a little ahead of time inside it,
Right.
especially if it's a 48-hour window, like many jams are. That's
every minute that
I don't want to learn anything in
there.
that 48 hours.
Even in some 48-hour game jams, I've seen people, they've got Unreal Engine up on one screen and YouTube up on the other, and they're working through problems, and it's
really
really
incredible.
impressive.
Yeah.
And really impressive projects are being made even by people who are like doing it for the very first time. So
Right.
I'm taking all that knowledge and a lot of the like game types that people have made that I saw them either struggle with or I was like, oh, that's a great idea.
Hmm.
I should figure out how to do that in Unreal. And so I'm going to take a few of those game types and show y'all how to build them and get them set up in Unreal. We're also going to look at the Game Jam toolkit,
Perfect.
which was released a year ago and
Mhm.
is still available, of course. And once we're done, kind of making some different sort of gameplay prototypes, we'll add that in and make it kind of a complete game. And yeah,
Yeah.
that should be
I'm
fun.
excited, and yeah, this is a great opportunity to learn how to dive in if you're looking to get started at Global Game Jam,
Hmm.
which is coming up January 25th through 27th.
Yep.
We're super excited to be a part of that.
Hmm.
And so yeah, hopefully if you're diving in, this is a great opportunity to learn. And we do our quarterly UE4 jams, which
Right.
those tend to run longer than the 48 hours, but
And this
these
year,
still help you get going faster.
yeah, this year I'm able to tell everyone what to do before the jam.
Right.
Last year, I think we did it to kick off our jam.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So now
everyone
you
gets a
have
little bit more time
more
this
prep
time.
time.
So we're going to start off with a little recap of what I covered last year with a little change, but not a whole lot for those of you that were here for last stream. I don't want to bore you. So today we're going to take a look at getting set up for your game jam using UE4. We're going to look at a bunch of free resources that you can get to. We're also going to talk a little bit about teamwork and collaboration. That's really important in these game jams. And
Just a little.
a lot of teams have really struggled with that, and knowing how to get that set up is really easy and really helps you out. We're going to take a look at blueprints versus C++. And a lot of these jams, you end up with these teams that are a really interesting mix of people. You know, you'll have programmers who have never even touched a video game engine
Right.
before, but they're really adept at C++, or other people who are really adept with Unreal. And so making sure that people can use their talents in that short time is really important. And so getting talented programmers on your team is really key, and letting them use C++ can be the deciding factor whether they join your team or not. And then, like I said, we're going to do some gameplay concept demos. It's mostly going to be around input systems and multiplayer, because I've seen that a lot of the really fun game jam games are multiplayer, local multiplayer, or LAN games. And it's something that Unreal Engine excels at, and you can do it really easily once you know where to look. So yeah, we'll take a look at that and set up a couple different multiplayer options. So before the jam, which I would assume is now, there might be some game jam going on right now that I'm unaware of.
Secret jams.
There's always a jam. It's like feeding a gremlin. It's always midnight somewhere. So of course, you're going to want to install Unreal Engine 4 ahead of time. Unreal Engine 4 can take a long time to install. It's really big, and if you're on the game jam floor, like at a university
Right.
or somewhere, you might not even have really good internet
I
access.
think there's
So
about 4.5 gigs.
4.5 gigs. If you're including source, you can go up to 16 gigabytes. So make sure you do that ahead of time on a nice fast internet connection. Don't save that to the last moment. Use the latest version you can. We're always adding more and more bug fixes, so you don't want to be coming up against bug crashes, and you want to have all the latest tools and cool stuff that we've added to the engine. So use the latest version you can get. The launcher is usually the easiest place for teams to get an engine. They can all download the same version together. Of course, if you're more used to using GitHub, that works great too. And of course, if you're on Linux, it's the only place to get it. And we really recommend skipping the preview versions for game jams. You don't have enough time to deal with a possibly unstable version. There's so many features in the existing versions, you probably won't need that. Set up source control. You've got to find a way of sharing your project amongst your team effectively. The way I prefer to do it is using a source control application, Perforce or SVN or something. And we'll cover that a little more. And of course, get your content ahead of time. again, content is really big, and there's tons of content available, and trying to download all that, you know, under a time crunch isn't ideal. And then, in addition to this, have all this stuff prepared so that when you join a team, you can hand all this data off to your teammates as well and get everyone on the same page. So, source control. Always use some sort of source control. Source control officially is using a source management software like Perforce or SVN or Git, but it can really just be any way that you are effectively managing your source. So, like I said, the best is the applications like Perforce and SVN and Git. But for a smaller project that's in a time crunch, things like Dropbox and Box work pretty well. You can run into some issues with overwriting files and some conflicts, and I've seen sometimes temp files get a little funky on them because you're writing and deleting a lot of files when you're running the engine. But I've seen it work quite a bit. I've done it myself, so it's not the worst case, and it requires pretty much no technical knowledge.
Right,
You
yeah,
put
you
it in the
just drag and
folder,
drop
everyone works from there, and it works great, but it requires internet access.
Right.
If you're at a venue that doesn't have good internet access, again, you might have to find something like a thumb drive, which is, it's not the worst. The worst is doing nothing, which is YOLO. So yeah, if you have to do a thumb drive, just make sure that you're very effective in your communication
Right. You
amongst
don't
your
want to be
team.
constantly having to switch, so you're going to probably change your workflow if you're
Right.
trading on the thumb drives,
Right.
which is
There's
very
some
much a part of the like train jam. So if you do the train jam leading up to GDC, like there's no internet,
There's
and so
nothing.
you're doing a lot of that. Like, oh, well, what can I work on entirely independently of you, and only trade files when we really need to?
I have seen teams bring their own routers,
Oh,
wireless routers
there you
and
go.
routers so
Extra
they can set
prepared.
up a little LAN, so at least they have a network amongst themselves. So if you want to get really
Pro
prepared,
tips.
bring yourself a router. And so, what's content? Well, there's tons of content. We have our Game Jam Toolkit, which I highly recommend. I'll give you a demo of how that works a little later. It's just a great way of adding that final polish to your game. It's got a bunch of content to help you prototype it as well. We have samples and learning content out to the end of the earth in the launcher. If you go to the Learn tab, it's just full of tons of samples and learning content, models, projects, effects, whatever. It's all free for you to reuse, and it's all really high quality content. And alongside of that is the marketplace stuff, which is just exploding right now. We've got all of our free Epic stuff, all the Paragon stuff, all the Soul Cave, and all of that stuff, which is all phenomenal characters with animations and sound effects.
There's
and
environments.
and visual effects and announcers, and there's pretty much everything you need. You can find there. And there's also a lot of code plugins. Something that's interesting in game jams is a lot of people want to be experimental or try and use some third-party API or game lift, or there's all sorts of stuff, Socket.io, ways of adding new functionality. And in the marketplace now, there are hundreds of code plugins and integrations for all sorts of cool stuff. So if you're planning or you're used to using a certain backend, or you want to use some cool, cloud feature, you should look on the marketplace first, because there could just be a plugin that you just click a button and it gets added to your engine, and you don't have to do a whole lot of technical stuff. Of course, there's other code plugins out there, and if you're a more skilled developer and you're used to compiling code, etc., those are really cool to add functionality to the engine as well. And of course, we have just absolutely gobs of community resources out there. At the on the forum web post, I posted just a huge page full of community resources. There are models, audio, full game content. One of my favorite websites is UE4 Resources by El Housin. And he's got all of these great projects. He's got VR templates, 2D stuff, a bunch of stuff that I never really thought of as being typical Unreal projects. Lots of kind of 2D stuff or experimentally
Right.
stuff. So it's a really good place to get inspiration or find how to get something to work in Unreal.
And one caveat, folks have been asking, it's like, oh, pre-created content for a jam. You have to look at the rules of the jam you're participating in.
That's
So in
true.
our UE4 jams, we let you use pre-generated. So like if you use the Paragon assets or things like that, while that changes, it does affect our judging. Not everything has to be 100% pre or like created during the contents of the jam. But there are jams where it's like explicitly everything needs to be created. I feel like things get a little more gray around plugins.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well,
It's kind of hard to dig into code and see exactly what you've done. But, if you're
so look
walking
at the
around in the default
rules of your jam.
mannequin
Yeah.
with a Paragon character, going to be pretty obvious. But yeah, I've been to some game jams where I've told everyone right before it starts, get your content, and then they post the rules and say no external content.
And you're like, well.
And I say ignore that. So yeah, do
Takes
check
its
your
fancies.
rules before you
Yeah.
begin. You wouldn't want to get disqualified for using any of this stuff. So once the game jam starts, these are the hints and advice that I've pulled out from everyone that I can. The first one is to make it playable as soon as possible.
Yes.
Don't just spend all your time coding and arting. Get it working. Get that little box jumping up and make it do something. And in addition to that, once it does that, start cooking and packaging and testing it, seeing if it'll actually become an application. Do it early and often. You don't want to get to the last 2 hours and have hours worth of debugging to figure out why your packaging isn't work, or when it's packaged it works slightly different. So identify those issues really early, and hopefully those won't get you at the 11th hour. And what will help with that too is reducing scope.
Yes.
Scope is it's the scope. It's what you're going to do.
It's how big or small your plans for your project.
Exactly. It's how many features there are, how many features interact with each other. It's very easy to come up with great ideas and really grand ideas and really cool ideas. It's really hard to implement them, especially in a limited time. So take those cool ideas, take those great concepts that you've come up with, and cut away everything that you can while maintaining the core pillars of whatever that concept is. And then, if you can, reduce that scope some more. The more you reduce the scope of your project, the greater your chances of it working and being bug-free are. And then don't forget your self-care. Some game jams, they'll basically lock you in an auditorium for a weekend, and you've got to kind of fend for yourself. Others let you go home and take showers. So bring what you need if you're going to be on a train or in an auditorium.
Right.
Bring your deodorant and your coffee pods or your instant coffee. Bring everything you need. Take care of yourself. Sleep. Eat. When you're feeling frazzled and it's not working right, go ahead and take a nap.
And sometimes
it'll work out.
Yeah, stepping back too
Stepping
helps.
back
Like
helps
if you're
so
getting
much.
stuck solving a problem or you're looking at your game, like sometimes just that break and coming back, they tell you to do that, whether it's code or art, having that breather, hopefully.
And
gives you
under
a
that
moment.
kind of time crunch, it can often be really difficult to convince yourself that it's okay to step away. It's okay to step away from your team and get some perspective. So, like I said, again, reduce your scope. I really just keep this slide in here because I really like this graphic. The SS ship it on fire. And this is fine. And it's true. In a game jam, you can ship a flaming boat that will sink, but as long as it floats long enough for the judging,
To play through it, yeah.
you're good. So keep it real, keep it fast, keep it good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be the next big thing. It's better that it works or that it's there than it not being there for us. So cook, package, and test. For people who don't know, for those of you who are new to the Unreal Engines. These are different terms than you might have heard. So cooking is what we call it when we prepare your content for packaging, or we prepare it for a certain platform. So we can cook for an iOS device, we can cook for a Windows or cook for a Mac platform. So we prepare all of your content to run most efficiently on that specific platform. And then packaging takes that cooked content and pairs it with a version of the engine that doesn't have the editor, makes an exe, and prepares it for distribution. And that's what you'll be submitting. So make sure that you can package your files to an exe, or you usually won't be able to submit it. So learning this process and getting comfortable with it is really key to getting that project out. And there's kind of 3 ways of testing your project. And the first is in the editor. You've got your play in editor button. Test, of course, often you have to. I don't know if I actually have to tell people to do that, other than that's where you're going to test most often. And then regularly, you should cook your content. There's a button right next to play that says launch. What launch does is it cooks the content and then launches it using the editor. So it doesn't go through the entire packaging process. It's a little faster. And then at milestones, when you've reached big parts at the end of the day, test making an entire packaged version with an exe. Make sure it runs, and you can solve those problems early. Usually these problems are not that big. In fact, the number one issue is simply not including a default game map in your preferences. When you run in the editor and you press play, you're already in a level.
Yep.
So it knows what level to load. But if you load from outside the editor, you have to tell it which map to load. Otherwise, it doesn't know. And Unreal isn't going to just choose one for you. So you have to include your default map. And this is in your project settings. And typically it'll be like your main menu or your first level or whatever you want the player to see first. And if you don't include this, it'll package, you'll load it up and just get a black screen. And you'll go, what? Now you know. And then the other issue is often package size, especially if you're using marketplace content and other content packs. Your asset folder in your project can really balloon and get really big. And when you package, by default, it takes all of the content in your content folder and packages it, whether it's being used in the game or not. Well, if you go into your project settings and go under packaging, you'll see right here under packaging, there's 2 options. To cook only maps. What this one does is it searches through all the map files, the UMap files, and finds all the referenced assets and puts those in a list, and it only includes those. So if you have something in your content folder that's not in a map, it won't include it in the packaging. And then you can also compress your cooked package, and this will crunch the size down a little bit further even. And here's a little comparison of a very simple project I put together, and on the left is the full thing just packaged with default settings, and on the right is using those 2 settings, and I cut it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
And of course, if you want to go even further, you need to go into the source code version off of GitHub and start removing things. Yep. People have got Unreal Engine down to remarkably small sizes. So if that's important to you, please do that. But this is the other thing about reducing package size and the amount of content that's being packaged is it will increase the speed of packaging. So it's a lot faster to package 200 megabytes worth of stuff than half a gig or several gigabytes worth of stuff.
A 50% decrease is pretty significant.
And time is money.
Obviously, there's diminishing returns, but you're going to have odds are you're having a smaller game for your game jam. So
typically. But if
you
followed my advice, if you followed my advice and put all those Paragon assets into your content folder, that left side could be several gigabytes.
Right.
Each one of those Paragon characters is several gigabytes each. So, I highly recommend those 2. The caveat to it is, of course, if you're using some advanced referencing, etc., cook-only maps may not catch all of your content, which is why I say to test your packaged versions regularly, especially after making changes like this. All right, so that's packaging and all that stuff. Let's talk about when your team forms and you're starting to figure out how you're building this Unreal Engine game. There is sometimes a conflict between Blueprint people and the C++ people, people who are just learning Unreal Engine, people who know it well. It can sometimes be difficult to decide exactly how you're going to tackle this project. And I just recommend you do it kind of the way we do. If you don't have a C++ programmer on your team, use Blueprints. You can do almost anything in Unreal Engine using Blueprints. They're very fast, and we expose almost every aspect of the engine to Blueprints. And they're really fast to modify and iterate. So what they may lack in runtime speed, they certainly gain in iteration speed, which is key in a game jam. So C classes run really, really fast. So if there's something that's eating up tons of CPU cycles, C is a great place to see if you can recover some of those. The other big benefit of C is that it's text-based. And so if you have a couple programmers on your team, they can work together in the same class. Blueprints are content and they're binary, so only one person can work in a blueprint at a time. And there's no way to merge them together. So C++ is a great way of including several people on a single class and can speed up development that way. And then the last thing about C++ is what you should really be doing with them, especially if you have a mixed team, is using C++ to extend the blueprint classes. You can create functions and variables and anything that you want and expose those to blueprints. So you can code your really awesome, heavy CPU, crazy physics simulation thing, and you can just expose that as a single node in blueprints, and your designers can decide when to fire off that crazy physics simulation thing. Or to, I want a half-second pause before it goes off, or I want it to include this other sound effect. The designer can make that change and not have to go back into the source code.
Muck with all of it,
Yeah, so it really helps. It keeps the programmers programming and the designers designing. And
everybody in their little pocket.
Just kind of hand off that work as needed. It makes UE4 and a team just absolutely shine. So the other thing is, if you've already started a project, it's super easy to make it into a C project. You just go into the File menu and say New C++ class, say OK a few times, and Unreal Engine builds the class structure, opens up Visual Studio, compiles it, puts the binaries where they're supposed to be. You're set to go, and now you have a Blueprint plus C++ class project. If you are doing that, be sure to share your binaries folder to the rest of your team. You don't need to share the source folder unless they're compiling as well, but they'll need the binaries folder that appears in your project, or they can't access your C++ stuff. So if you're going to use C, the way we like to suggest to do it is to put your core functionality into C and then extend blueprint classes from those. And those blueprint classes are really what are used in levels. You may notice that you don't often drag a raw C++ class into the editor. You're usually dragging blueprints or some other abstracted class. So, so as you can see here, I've got like my game mode base .h, which is the C++ header file, and that's where I would put all of the game code that wouldn't change from game mode to game mode in my game. And then I would expand upon that and compile that, and then in the editor create a blueprint, in this case called blueprint bp_mygamemode.u asset, and I would put the specific game mode stuff into that one. And that's the class that I would reference in my game mode. Same for here, the pawn. You go with a base pawn, and then you extend upon that with blueprints. And that's how you start exposing methods for blueprints, by adding those methods to the base class, and then your blueprinty people on your team can use those. So it's my final slide before it gets to all the reference slides. Get ready. Use your versions. Use your resources. Ruthlessly reduce scope, and really just have fun.
Yeah.
It's a game.
Yep.
It's almost a game about making games. Game jams are almost like a sport.
It's a metagame.
Game development sport. And it's just fun. If your game doesn't work at the end of the day, you still had a great weekend.
Yeah, like hopefully you had fun. You've, again, made connections. It's a great networking tool. You can meet people. You can learn new skills or try out those like side techniques where it's like, okay, maybe if you're familiar with engine, but you're going to try out Cascade or Niagara or, various tools within the engine that you haven't really messed with before. It's always a great way to just
it's a no pressure thing, You hopefully are not getting fired if your game jam game.
I don't know what you're doing with your
And if you do get fired because your game jam game didn't work, well, that's probably a job you didn't want. So, with that said, that's my little game jam spiel. I'm now going to go into the editor and make some stuff in a short period of time, which is how you do it in a game jam.
So we actually had a couple questions. They're asking about
answers.
Blueprint versus C++. And they're asking, will it be the same speed after exported? I assume they mean packaged. Exported to be apps or executables. So in the gamer's experience, whether we're developing with blueprints or C++,
from the gamer's perspective, they'll never know.
Yeah.
If you're playing Fortnite right now, you probably don't know what's in blueprints and what's in C++. I don't. And I should have some idea, but there's no way to tell. Now, there is a speed difference in execution speed. Blueprints, we say 8 to 10 times slower, but that's hugely variable depending on what you're doing. So for event-based things that just happen once, blueprints are plenty fast enough. For things that have to happen thousands and thousands of times per frame, moving stuff, physics, that's not the best place for them. That speed advantage in C is really essential. So, this might be part of the question, is blueprints run about the same speed in a packaged project as in editor. Same for C++. The only way to change the speed of blueprints is to use our nativization, which will create a not human readable C++ version of it during packaging. And oftentimes it will see a huge speed increase. We used it extensively in Robo Recall, which uses tons of blueprints, but to hit our frame rate target, we had to nativize a lot of them.
Yeah.
So give that a try, but I typically only do that if I'm finding that I have a performance issue. Otherwise, I don't want to introduce something else that can cause a failure.
Right.
So, preferably, of course, just move that stuff to C, but sometimes you don't have the option.
All right. Well.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on.
All right.
So, I'm going to start off just making I've already just made a basic project. It's I can't use it because it's deleted. So I'll make a new one.
Or is it still open?
Something's happening. Oh, that worked well. There we go. All right, so we're going to start from very scratch. So I'm opening up 4.20.1, our latest version. And I'm going to go here and make a new project. And I'm going to choose Blueprint, because I'm a Blueprint guy. And I'm going to choose Twin Stick Shooter. And we'll call this one Stream Demo. How's that? And I'm not going to include the starter content, because I want this project to be as svelte as possible.
Oh.
Go ahead and create that. And it'll launch up here.
Ta-da.
There we go. All right, so we got our twin stick shooter template. In case you didn't know, I just created a new project, and when it asked me what kind of project, I did the twin stick. I'm going to go ahead and modify the interface just a bit because I like to have my folders here in my content browser. So in this project, it's a twin stick shooter. Here I'm using WASD, and with my right hand, I'm using the arrow keys to shoot. And this is also set up to use a controller. So I'm using the left stick to move and the right stick to shoot. Pretty neat. And the way that's set up is really cool. We can use both the keyboard and the controller because I'm using input bindings. And that's set up in your project settings. So I just want to edit project settings. And I'm going to come down here to input. And up here we have these bindings. All right, in here we have a few axis bindings. We have move forward, move right, fire forward. And you can see here, for move forward, we've defined W as moving forward 1, and S as moving forward -1, which is backwards typically. And then we're also using the gamepad left thumbstick, this one here. So with this one binding, we can just ask what the move forward value is, and it'll return a composite of all of these put together. So if I were to press W and S at the same time, I'd end up with 0 because it would add these together, etc. So I've also got move right, which is my A and D keys, and the gamepad left thumbstick on the x-axis. Fire right and fire forward, which again, these use the arrow keys and the right joystick. And then the way that works, in our template here, we get this folder called Twin Stick Blueprint, BP. And in there is a Blueprints folder, and it has 3 whole classes. We have our game mode, and the game mode just basically says on this map, use the Twin Stick Pawn class, which is right here next to it. And then that is just defined in our world out, in our world settings here. We define our game mode as our twin stick game mode. And so when this level starts, it'll look at this class and ask what kind of pawn do I spawn, and it'll say use this one. And so we're going to be working mostly in these 2 classes to achieve a couple gameplay multiplayer gameplay classes. So the first one I think I'll do split screen first. Split screen is really fun, and it's ridiculously easy to set up. So the first thing I'm going to have to do is modify this level a bit. This level has some things that I don't want. We've got a pawn already sitting here, and I don't want that. And I've also got a player start here that's of a class that I don't want. So I'm just going to get rid of those and start it from fresh. I'm going to bring up my modes palette here, and I'm going to put in some player starts. So a player start is an actor that really just tells the engine when a player joins, this is a spot that they can start and which direction they'll be facing. If you look at it, help if I deselect it, you'll see a blue arrow, and that'll kind of tell you where your player is going to start. So if I press play now, you'll see now I start right where that class is. If I move it around, I'll start there. If I rotate it, it's really hard to see my cursor on that gray background. It's great. So I'll start in that direction. So if we're going to have multiplayers, we need more than one player start.
Yeah.
Because what happens is they'll all just try and start on top of each other, and that makes for a bunch of unhappy players. So I'm going to do something really quick, because on this monitor I can't see my cursor. So I'm going to just change this material of this background to a slightly different color so that I can see what I'm doing. A little more green.
Being really needy, Tom.
I know. Now it has to be perfect.
Now it's like grass.
Now it's grass, see?
Perfect.
Look at my art. Look at that. Well, now I can see my cursor. So that's the art that I care about.
Someone's asking, how can you change skip assigning gamepad to player 1 at runtime?
Well, I will get to that.
All right.
I will actually get to that because that's an important thing when we get to having 2 players and you might only have one of these hanging around your house. And you might want to test, or if you want player 1 to be on a keyboard and the other players to be on gamepads. So the first thing I'm doing here, after I deleted all that stuff and put in 1 player start, I'm going to put in a 2nd player start. And hopefully, this is where a 2nd player will start. So now when I play, what it's actually doing is randomly choosing one of these 2 spots to start from. That's the default behavior. It finds all the player starts in the level, randomly finds one and puts you there. Doesn't have a whole lot of error checking, so we'll take a look at that in a sec. So we want to be able to spawn a new player. And to do that is almost comically easy in Unreal Engine. So I'm opening up our pawn here, which is just the default pawn. And I'm just going to add, for now, I'm just going to use a keyboard shortcut. I'm going to say the key 2. When I press the 2 button, something's going to happen. And it's going to be, we're going to create player. I'll wire that in. And if I open this up, you can see it spawns a pawn. And it returns a player controller value. So what this node does is it spawns a new player controller into the world. And the pawn according to the game mode. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all you need. So I'm going to go ahead and compile and save. I'm actually going to dock this class here so I can get to this easier. And now if I play and I press 2, it might be hard to see, but I'm playing in split screen. Got a top-bottom split screen here. And if I use my gamepad, here's that question coming up. I want to control the bottom one. But by default, it assigns the gamepad to player 0, as well as the keyboard. So we're going to adjust a couple of things. I want the split to be horizontal rather than vertical. And I want this controller to control the 2nd player. So we're going to go into the project settings. Going to go to input. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go to all settings, and I'm just going to type in split. And here you can see our local multiplayer options. So we can choose to use split screen or not, and we'll look at that in a second. And then we can choose our layout, and I want vertical. And then I'm going to go and close that and look for skip assigning gamepad to player 1. So right there. Whoop. And if you wanted to find all of that stuff, you could type in local multi, and here's your local multiplayer options. So now if I go back and I press play and I hit 2, we now have our vertical split screen. Ooh. And now this is controlling this guy.
So they can't see it, but Tom's
it's shooting little
controller.
Oh yeah, you can't see me. My right hand is using a gamepad. My left hand is using the keyboard.
Yep.
And so if I wanted 4 players, well, I would add more. But I'm gonna probably hit an issue here. Ooh, that doesn't look good.
What? When you went to?
What happened there? So I've got 4 players now, but the 4th player that joined spawned right on the same spot as one of those other players because it was sitting on the player start.
Oh.
So we can fix that. That's all controlled by the game mode. And this is something I've only kind of recently started digging into, is the functionality in our base classes and overriding some of that functionality. So when a pawn or a player controller gets added to the game, there's a bunch of functions that run. And one of those functions finds all the player starts and chooses one. And by default, it just chooses a random one. It doesn't care what's going on. Mm-hmm. So if there happens to be someone already on that spot, it'll just fail and that person ends up at the default start, which is 0, 0. So one option we would have is to have a lot of player starts and just hope no one ends up in that situation. Or we can apply some logic to this. So the way we do that, so I've gone into, just so we can see again, I've opened up the game mode. And what I'm going to do is over here in the functions, you can see next to it says 32 overridable. That means there are 32 built-in functions that we can change how they work. And one of those in here is the find player start. And I don't know if you can read that, but it says return the specific player start actor that should be used for the next spawn. This will either use a previously saved start actor or calls choose player start, which is this one right down here. So what it's saying is if an actor successfully spawned or a pawn successfully spawned from an actor, the next time it spawns, it'll just try and reuse that actor over and over again. It assumes it's safe or it's its team or whatever.
Right.
And that's just kind of a good, kind of basic way of doing it. In this case, I know that I'm going to have up to 4 players, and I want each one to start on a specific spot.
Right.
So I'm going to override find player starts. And when I do that, it creates a new function over here and auto-populates it. So it auto-populates the inputs and the outputs, and I can't modify those. But I can do stuff in here. So what I'm getting is I'm getting the controller that's created. So when a new player starts, and it's trying to find its player start, this is the player controller. And I also have its incoming name, just in case I need it. But what I need to return, what I need to tell Unreal, is where it should start. And it's looking for just an actor reference. So I could tell it anywhere, any specific place. So what I'm going to do is a little funny, is I want to make it so that as each player joins, it starts with the first, second, third, and fourth player starts. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, let's see. I'm going to get,
what are you looking for?
Get number. I'm looking for get number of players, which I have had some issue finding.
It's a secret number. Never to be found.
There we go. It's because it's num players, not number players. Num players. So get num players. So this will return the number of players that are in the game. So when you've got 1 player, you've got 1, and so on and so forth. And it returns this integer value.
So somebody's wondering, would this happen if there's enough player starts in the map to start with? So if there were 4 player starts.
Possibly, but it will randomly choose a player start.
And so they could incidentally use the same one?
Yep. So it could, law of probability, it could choose the first one 4 times.
Right.
So in this case, what I'm doing is just assigning it a spot. You could also set up some sort of logic so that if it collides with another actor, it goes and finds another player start. So, this function right here lets you decide how you want that to work, which is really cool. And it's something that I've searched for a long time because getting multiplayers to start where I want them to has always been a little bit of a challenge for me. But this is the function that does it, and now I can just directly tell Unreal where I want those players to end up. So I'm just going to take the number of players, and then I'm going to get all actors of class, and I want my player starts. And so this node returns an array of player start actors. So I can use the number of players to access the index of this array. So I'm going to just subtract 1 because we're a 0-based index on arrays. And then I'm just going to go here and we're going to get, drag off from that line there. Can I zoom in some more? Get a copy. We're going to pop that right in there. And then what this returns is a player start object or actor, and that plugs right into the return value. And so really all we've got here is we're finding out how many players we have, and we're choosing the next player start that's in our level. Now, of course, right now we only have 2 player starts, so real quick, I'm going to grab our player starts. this one and this one. Ooh, hey. I'm alt dragging them to copy them. And I'm going to rotate them so they're facing their opponents, I suppose. There we go. Now, I'm going to press play, and we're going to cross our fingers that this works. Hit 2, and we get our second player, who's now right in that second spot. Hit 2 again. We got our third player in the third spot, and 4. We now have 4 players, and nobody collided with each other.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Now, it's worth it to note that for local multiplayer, X input, Windows X input has a maximum of 4 controller inputs. But of course, you still have a mouse and a keyboard with all the keys on there. And by default, split screen and Unreal max out at 4. If you want to go in and edit the code, you can go into the game viewport client and modify that, and you can have as many split screens as you want. But by default, it's 4 because that's how many controllers you can have. So if you plug in 4 Xbox controllers, you can have 4. I've also seen people on a MacBook use 4 Switch controllers connected via Bluetooth. And it worked great. It was really fun.
That's a clever idea.
So split screen is cool. And you can see it's ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
You add a player.
Done.
So the other type of local multiplayer is kind of like Smash Brothers, where you have one camera that sees everybody.
That everybody's participating.
So let's see how to do that. And the first thing we have to do is we have to turn off split screen. Because we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just add players. And so we're going to look for our local multiplayer, and we're just going to turn off use split screen, and you can see it goes and grays out all the split screen options. And so now if I were to go play and hit 2, you'll see the other guys spawn and get input, but that's not the most ideal camera. So already we're halfway there, and all I had to do was turn off split screen. So now I just need to define a camera that can see the whole arena here, or at least the part of it or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to modes, and I'm just going to grab a regular old camera. I'm going to throw it right here in the middle, and I'm going to go and put it where I want my camera for my game to be. Drag that guy on up. There we go. Nice view of the world. And I'm picky. I think I want like a 40-degree view. And we'll go a little further up. There we go. And I think we can see all of our player starts in there. So now, when I spawn my second player, I want to leave the pawn camera that follows my pawn around, and I want to go up to this sky camera here. Now, actor classes have a hard time knowing what's in the world because they don't exist in a particular world. They exist in the content folder, and it's only when they spawn in the world that they can see anything, which is why we have to use the get all actors of class function. And in this case, I would want to get all camera actors and point to this one. The problem that I found is that every time you spawn a pawn, they include a camera actor with them. So when I was just getting camera actors, it was returning all the camera actors and assigning random stuff. So I looked at a bunch of ways to figure out how to get this camera. And the way I figured out, and there's probably 22 other ways of doing it, was in the camera's details, I looked for tag, and I added an actor tag. And this one I'll call game cam. I think I spelled that right. And so now I can just search for all actors with tag, with game cam, and I'll just get that one. And again, we're going to do this in our pawn. Come back here. This time when I press 3, this is going to happen. I really like using the number keys, by the way, for doing this because it's really easy. You just hit a key and it comes up here, whereas if I'm trying to use like the K key, it's hard to find because there's lots of stuff with the letter K in it.
Yeah.
So I've just started using the number keys for doing testing like this. So we're going to create a player, I just copy pasted Control C, Control V. But when this player's created this time, I want to say, let's put the camera up in the sky. So I'm going to get all actors, but instead of class, I'm going to use with tag. Get all actors with tag. And of course, I have to put in my game cam tag here. And that'll return, hopefully, an array of just one. And so I'll get a copy. And I'll use this nifty node. It's called set view target with blend, which of course it's not going to show up.
Exciting.
I know why. I have to get my player controller. And then I have to set view target with blend. So I got a reference to my player controller because this is a function that lives in the player controller class. So from the pawn can't see this function. So I have to get a reference to the player controller and run this function. And so this function asks what player controller do we want to set this new view target to, and what's the new view target? And that's going to be what we've returned from the get all actors with class game tag. And here we could set a blend time so it moves smoothly up and exponents and whatever, but I just want it to pop into place. So here's the graph there. We're creating a player, we're finding the game camera, and we're setting the view target. So I'm going to go ahead and save all because I would cry if I crashed right now. And I'm going to press play, and I'm going to hope that this works. And look, it did. So now we have a single camera that is no longer attached to our characters. And of course, you could create a camera actor class that followed people around and changed scales, zoomed in and out.
Some folks asking how they would create a more dynamic camera that angles down or scales as people move to the edges of the screen and things like that.
Yeah, so the way I do it, there's tons of ways to do it, but the way I do it probably is to create an actor class, and rather than just using a camera actor, I would use my camera actor class that in it would have the logic to follow the players around, etc. And so it would kind of exist independently from everyone else. Yeah. So you can see with that add player, you can create local multiplayer really easily in Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And local multiplayer games are really fun for game jams. And also, you don't have to program AI. You just have to find people to pick up controllers, which at a game jam is usually pretty easy.
So you have multiple controllers here. Some people are wondering how to set up characters with, like if you're playing on the keyboard,
one person
like
here, one person
using
over
arrows
here.
and one using...
There isn't, unfortunately, a checkbox to make that super easy, but it's not terribly difficult. Just in where you're processing your input in your Blueprint code or C++ code, all you have to do is just ask, am I player 1? If so, I'll just ignore these keys. Am I player 2? Okay, I'll use the arrow keys.
Gotcha.
So everyone will still be getting all the input, but you just have to use some if statements to figure out, because there's no way we could split the keyboard or anything like that. But I've also seen there was a game jam where they were using one controller and one person used the left and one person used the right.
Oh, jeez.
Because they only had one controller. So
well, do what you got to do.
Look at that. Yeah, so the other type of multiplayer is, of course, the more traditional type of multiplayer. Now, it's a little more difficult than the split screen because it moves into what's called replication. And replication is not something we're going to cover in this stream. I think we covered it in 3 or 4 streams. It's not like a 10-minute, hey, replication.
Yeah.
You got it. So if you are planning to do a LAN style game, you should probably get up to speed on replication and how that works beforehand. There's some really great, there's a video tutorial series. There's also a written tutorial series.
Yep.
And there's also several community resources.
Yeah, they were just talking in chat. So Cedric Neukirchen has written a really fantastic compendium.
The network compendium.
Yeah.
Yep. That's fantastic.
I remember looking it up. I have it up here. I'll share it. But like even at NVIDIA, we're going through it and we're like, oh yeah, okay.
Oh, that's got a lot. I looked through it right before this and was like, whoa, that's a lot of stuff. And he's gone through every corner of our multiplayer system and explains how all the replication works and provides a lot of advice on how to set up your classes and set up input between the player and the server, etc. So without getting into all of that, I just want to show how you can create a server and a client that will join each other. And just like all these other things, it's really simple, but if you don't know the button to push,
Yeah.
it's near impossible to, like, I don't even know how to Google how to do that. But yeah, it's really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and jump back to the editor here. And we'll go back to the pawn. I'm using the pawn in this case, by the way, just because the pawn class accepts input by default. So I know that whatever I hit on the keyboard and mouse or whatever will get sent to the pawn. Is this the right place for all this code? Probably not. I'm sure right now there's someone who's absolutely cringing that I'm putting, creating player stuff into a pawn class. Typically, I would probably put most of this code into a player controller that would send an event to the game mode, et cetera, et cetera. But again, this is a stream, and we're talking about a game jam. So, if this code works and doesn't fail at the end of the weekend, then it's perfect code.
It's true.
Best practices or whatever, get your game to ship. So let's go ahead and we'll just continue on our keyboard journey here up to 4. I know, I'm excited. So when we press 4, so I guess I'll cover kind of what's going to happen here is, so in this case, I'm going to test locally. I'm going to test on one machine, but I'm going to simulate a LAN game. So this is only for a local area network. I'm not going to get into Steam and sessions and all that stuff. I just want to show you how you can get 2 instances of Unreal to join it together. So when I press 4, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to launch 2 versions of the game. And on one of them, I'm going to start the server. It's called a listen server. So that means that it's a client server. It's both a client, a player, and a server. We also have dedicated servers, which I'm super not going to get into, that exist outside. But so the listen server lets the player still play, but also lets them host a game. And so we're going to launch a second version, and we're going to join into that game. And it's almost absurdly easy how that works. Of course, this is a very simplified version. Once you get into like matchmaking and listing sessions and all that, it gets a little more complex. But what it all boils down to is these kind of 2 basic commands. So 4 is going to start our session. And to start a listen server, all you have to do is open a map or open a level. And in this case, we're going to use our default level here, which is called Twin Stick example map. But we're going to give it an option called Listen. I called it Listen because I was typing it. You should call it Listen. So the listen, when we pass this and we say open a level with the option Listen, it changes Unreal Engine into a server, and it starts listening for client connections. And that's really all we have to do. So I'm going to say on 5, when I press 5, which will be on the other instance, I want to join this map. And to do that, I have to do, it's a console command, which is not coming up here. I cannot read that. Execute console command, there we go. And this command is really simple. It's open, and then the IP address. So, of course, if you know your IP address, that works really well. Again, I had said people who were making multiplayer games actually brought their own router. They could set up their own IP addresses, etc. There are ways to search, but in this case, we're going to use our local host, which is 127.0.0.1. And in IP networking terms, that just means this computer, the local host. This IP address is always the same and always refers back to yourself. And we do have to tell it which player is joining that server. So we're just going to get player controller, as we often do. So there. Look at that. It's really rough. So to launch this, I need to get back out. I need to kind of get out of the editor and find the project file. My shortcut for doing that is to right-click on my content folder, show an explorer, and it brings me right into the project. And so I can just go up one level, and there's my project and everything. If I haven't made a little shortcut, this is the way I get there. And so to launch this project, first I want to make sure all my classes saved. I think I did that. So all you have to do is right-click and say Launch Game. And when you do this, it's very similar to launching the game from the editor. But when you launch the game from the editor, it kind of sits in the same process, and it's not a real simulation of two totally separate sessions. So this session opened up full screen, which is too much for me. Can I get on full screen? All right. Set res. I'm just going to make it smaller so that we can see what's going on. There we go. And I'll get my switch back, and we'll launch another. Unreal really wants my mouse. It wants it so good. All right. And how are we doing for time? I don't have time here. Okay, we'll try and get this guy to do the same thing. There we go. I'll move these so that we can see each other. Come on over. All right, so we have two instances. They're completely separate. They each have a first player.
Oh, you're in your console, yeah.
Silly console. So in this one on the left here, I'm going to hit 4, which is going to reload the map. It does it really quick because it's a really small map.
Right.
But in this, what we've done is loaded that map as a listen server. And so now I can go over to my right side and hit 5. And there we are. We've joined into each other. Oh. Now we're going to start seeing right away that there's some networking issues, which is why I preface this as we're not going to get into replication in this stream. Immediately we've hit replication issues. So do get used to replication and kind of learn how to use that. But this is how you actually get two separate computers or clients to connect to each other. You know, it's kind of weird because in the engine, it's super easy. All I have to do is come down here in the play menu and say 2 and use new editor window, and it immediately connects both of them. But you will see it still has all the same issues. It just skips the opening and the connecting. That it basically does what I did. Yeah. But in a standalone game, that's not available. So that's how you make that work. So, so that's how that's some, you know, like I said, I've seen some people doing some Unreal projects, and these are some of the things they've asked me how to do. Like, how do I get the camera to do this? How do I get split screen? Really common, really good game types or input systems for game jams. So we've got our game. Now I want to get it to that last mile. I want to add that polish. I want a main menu. I want a pause menu. And again, I think that's something that a lot of people, especially if you're new to Unreal, that's going to be hard for you to figure out in like 48 hours, how to really get that to work. Right. You're going to have to learn a whole bunch. You're going to have to learn blueprints and UMG, and you might be up for it, but the Game Jam Toolkit has you covered for the low price of nothing. So the Game Jam Toolkit, you download from our forums, and they end up. Where is all my stuff on here?
I hit it.
Is this the stream demo?
Well.
Where did you put all that stuff?
Hold on.
Here. Where'd you put my stuff?
I hid it away.
Why you hide my stuff?
It's on
Uh-huh. All right. Thank you. Ta-da. So you download it, and it's a zip file, and in that zip file are a couple of folders, and these folders are content folders. Uh, so we've got the Game Jam kit, and then there's a UFO game demo that I've built. So it's a little game demo, and you can include it or not, but it's a demo to show how to set up the Game Jam kit. In this case, I don't need it, so I'm just going to drag Game Jam kit not into here, because that causes all sorts of fun errors. But again, I'm just going to open up my content and drag that into the root of the content folder. And it'll copy over, and there it is in my content browser. So the Game Jam toolkit, Game Jam kit, is a bunch of stuff. We've got a couple of HUDs. We've got an in-game HUD and a main menu HUD class, as well as a bunch of UMG widgets to populate those. And this button doesn't go back. Fancy mouse. There's also a bunch of really simple content for you to use to help prototype your game was kind of the idea. This isn't really like final content, but I wanted to look through and just figure out, you probably want like a spark to fire and some audio and just some really basic stuff to start building without having to dig around all of our content packs and figure out where all that stuff is. So you've got materials and some meshes. I've also set up some base materials, a master material, so you don't even have to go set up like a master material. You can start material instancing and get started right away. But we're just going to look in the blueprints folder today, because the blueprints contain a main menu, a pause menu, and kind of a fade in and out between your levels, and it adds a really nice level of polish. So I'm going to make sure that my level is saved, and I'm going to we're going to start with a main menu, because got to have a main menu. And in Unreal, the way I typically do a main menu is I start with a new blank level, and I'll save this level, and I'll call it something clever like main menu.
Oh.
I know. Watch
Saucy.
out. No one's going to figure out what that is now. So in my main menu level, I need to create a new game type that is my main menu game type, game mode. So in our game, we've got our game mode with all of our rules.
Right.
And in our main menu, we'll have a main menu game mode. It's the world's most boring game. The game mode just presents a menu and maybe some background stuff. It's a navigating menu game. Ooh, boy!
The menu game of your game.
So yeah, so we need a game mode. So I'm going to go back to our twin stick BP blueprints, and I'm going to make my new game mode. Blueprint class. And we're going to do base game mode, and we're going to call this one main menu game mode. See? Crazy namer today. And in here, this game mode, which is really just a list of classes that are used, I'm just going to assign the HUD to be the main menu HUD. I know. And now, when I go back to main menu, and I press play, I'm going to get something funky. Oh, I didn't set the game mode. So in this level, I have to set my game mode to my main menu game mode, of course. And now when I press play, oh, I think I've got multiple players starting. Hold on here.
Oh, okay.
Ta-da! And so we've got our main menu. Of course, you can make stuff behind the main menu.
Right.
I've just got a blank menu, blank level here. If I click play, I get an error. No start level name defined in the HUD class. Please set this. Please set this to your game's first level name. So if I go back into the main menu HUD, over here, I've actually got over here in the variables, but I like to use this new defaults here. It shows all the default values of all your variables in your class. Here I've got the start level name. And so our first level was called Twin Stick Example Map. I believe. That's a long name. And so now when I hit that button, it will try and load that level. So let's go back, press play. And it loads the level. Now, when the level opened, it didn't fade back in from the Unreal logo, and it doesn't have any way of opening a pause menu or anything. So let's go add that. So our main menu's set up. And of course, if you wanted to go add options, etc., you can just go ahead and modify the main menu, add buttons to it as you wish if you are skilled in that way. Also, you can very, very easily, in the loading screen, for example, if you wanted to replace the giant Unreal logo with your own logo, just put it right there, and there you go. So you can see that adds it's really an easy way of adding a main menu. So let's add in a pause menu and a way to get back to our main menu so we have a game loop. So we just have to go back. I'm going to open up my my recent twin stick example map level. Save. And in this one, so all I need to do is in this game mode, my twin stick game mode, so I just need to change the HUD class to the in-game HUD, just like that. So now when I play, you'll see we get the fade, and not much else happens. There's actually a pause menu built in, but I decided not to hard code that in because people may press select, start. There's a million ways to open a pause menu. So you've got to do it yourself, but it's crazy easy, of course. So I'm going to go back into, once again, my pawn here. And I'm going to say when I hit escape, I'm going to have my menu open up. So all I have to do is, I'm going to get my game mode, and I'm going to get my HUD. That gives me my HUD class. That's not what I want. Thought it was here, but oh, okay. We'll use the player controller. So we're going to get our player controller. We're going to get our HUD class, which we defined in our main menu. We're going to cast to that. And we're going to cast to the in-game HUD. So what we've done here is we've just, we got our player controller reference, and then we asked, can we have your HUD class, which we defined in the game mode. And then we're casting it, which is a node that basically gives us access to anything we've added to our custom class here. So if I wanted to call a function that I built in here, like set paused, it won't exist in every HUD, only in my HUD. So I have to say, this is my HUD, and it's got this thing. And so in there, there's a function called set paused. And all you have to do is decide whether you want it paused or not. So of course, in this case, I want it paused. Now, I'm going to do something because by default, if I play an editor and I hit escape, it's just going to close play in editor. So to deal with that, what I often do is I add shift to my escape over here. So I clicked on my input event, and over in the details, you can add in modifiers. So you can make it control shift or whatever. So that's how you do that. So now, when I play, drum roll please. I'm going to move around, and I hit shift escape. I get a pause menu, and it pauses the game, and all that code's in there, so you can no longer move around, etc. If you hit resume, you go back to your game, and shift escape goes back there. And if you hit main menu, same thing. We need to go into this class and add the main menu so that it knows where to go when you say go to the main menu, which is called main menu. And so now, source control. We're going to compile. And we're going to play. And we're going to hit Shift Escape to pause. When I hit main menu, we're going to open up the main menu. When I hit play, we're going to open up the game. Look at that. So it also includes, if you go into the in-game HUD, there's a lot of code in here, but there's actually also a game over screen that you can spawn. So when you decide to game over, you can easily just call show game over. So if I wanted to, I'm just going to keep going down here. Here's 7. I can do the same thing. Give me these. I'm going to duplicate those with Control W. And let me just make sure I know what that function is called. Show game over. So that's all we have to do.
There it is.
Show that game over. And then there's a label, so you can say, you wind.
You wind?
You wind.
My soul hurts.
Yep.
Okay.
That's for you. You wind! That's for you. So yeah, so I think I've got like a final slide here that's like
Okay.
blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Main
all the
takeaways.
resources.
And the resources, I've posted all of these on the forum page.
Yeah, so I can I'll drop that, a link to that in chat.
Into the chats, please.
Yeah. And these are a number of different editors, assets.
So, yeah, so, and there's actually more that I posted on the forum that are in here. Links to our documentation, links to our Facebook page. Some of you are probably watching from there. Romero Blueprints is a fantastic resource for learning about specific blueprints. If you're working with a blueprint and you need to know everything about that blueprint node, that's the place to go. In addition, there's an entire like programming primer guide to get people up to speed with programming that aren't programmers.
There you go.
So it's a hugely useful resource. Matt Wadstein's Game Jams tips and tricks videos are fantastic. Covers a lot of the same sort of stuff, but he's participated in a lot of game jams, so he has a lot of great advice. These are some free editors and assets out there. If you're coming from the OSS world, you don't want to buy the Macs and the Mayas and the Photoshops. There's plenty of great free editors out there. You know, good blenders there. You really almost don't need any of the big boys anymore. But again, you should probably learn these before you start your game jam, because no one wants to learn Blender on the fly, along with UE4 on the fly.
Yeah.
And then here's where you get some Unreal Engine stuff. And on there also is custom builds from PhysX, from NVIDIA, which have a lot of fun stuff if you want to play with those during your game jam too.
And since he's in chat, I want to give a shout out to Zio Yuri. He runs our Reddit page, so reddit.com/r/Unreal Engine is also a great place.
That is a great place. I lurk there often.
You're a lurker?
I am a lurker. I've posted a few times.
Oh, okay.
I've helped a few.
Perfect. Let's see. I think we have one quick question. How to fix a menu that's kept open even though pressing escape?
Oh, that's a good question. So so what's happening there is often when you pop open a UMG widget, it will actually start taking all the input. So if you've got your escape functionality in your player controller, it's not even going to get to it. So you have a couple options. There's a node where you can tell Unreal to pass the input to both UMG and the game. So it's called like set input to game and UI. There's also one set input to game only and set input to UI only.
Yeah.
A great example would be like a regular HUD. You would set the game input only because you never want your HUD to intercept your calls. The other option, which is I think the way I did it in the Game Jam toolkit, is I put the escape logic into the UMG widget or the HUD widget. I can't remember off the top of my head. But I put that logic into the menu so that the menu could hear the escape call again.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Do you mind if we give these slides out?
No, not at all.
All right. So
No,
we'll post those later. We've got to prep them and get them up, but we'll share them.
I'll remove all those swear words from the comments.
Yeah, totally. But
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. I feel like this has been a great jumping off point for folks that, whether you're fresh to Engine or always looking for ways to like expedite your workflow, at least for a game jam. Obviously, some of these are relevant for true game development, but
Right.
some
Yeah,
of these
if
are
you
a
were
little
doing
like
a
the quick and dirty
true
way.
game,
Like if you're when you're
don't put all your stuff in your pawn class.
Yeah, when you're iterating, maybe you'll work like this, but maybe not forever.
Right.
So thank you again for joining
You're
us.
very well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a treat.
Great time.
A new tradition.
A new tradition. I'll see you next year.
All right. And that's it. But no. Also, if you have feedback for us, I've tossed a link to our survey in the chat. So this is the best way to let us know if you have topic requests, how we're doing, what kinds of things you'd like to see in the future. It's also a chance for you to win an Unreal Engine t-shirt. So if you fill out the survey, we randomly draw from the folks that have filled it out. And include your email. If you don't include your email, then I can't really get a t-shirt to you. But you're welcome to fill out the survey and not provide an email. I want to make that clear. Always check for your local UE4 meetups. There's lots of wonderful people all over the world helping each other and supporting each other in person at groups, whether it's presentations or just showing off their games and getting feedback. So if you check out meetup.com/pro/Unreal Engine, you can see where those are. And if there's not one in your area, you can always start one up, and we're happy to help support you. Let's see. If you'd like your video as part of the countdown, so before this, we actually featured Kine. Gwen had been here at the end of November, and you saw a speed build or level design of her working on a build. So it's usually half an hour compressed into 5 minutes, and we're happy to toss your logo up, and it's a great way. I think they're fun. I love seeing what you can knock out.
I love seeing behind. I like always seeing the little widgets that people make in their level, the new actors and stuff that have some function. I'm like, what is that doing? It's on a spline. I got to see that.
Right. So yeah. And then we're always looking for cool projects in our community spotlight. Oftentimes we dig into the forums. So the only way for us to spotlight things is if we know you're working on something. So be sure to share it, whether it's on Twitter or in our forums, specifically the work in progress or the release projects. That's usually where we'll target first, just because we know what you're working on. Be sure to follow us on social media and all the things. So we shall see you next week with Tim Hobson.
Ooh. Have a great 2019, everybody.
All right. Take care, y'all. And sign up for a Global Game Jam.
Oh, yeah, do that. See you there.
Bye.
Bye.